Welcome everyone to Pontus Fathom Hobbies. Today I'm going to walk through the painting of the basic 4 factions of Cthulhu Wars. This is actually my second miniature painting expedition. So as you can see here, we're starting out looking at the miniatures. They came in the bright 4 colors: yellow, red, blue, and green. Um, these definitely seem more board gamey when they're just out of the box. You've got the Cthulhu figures here in green. You've got the Nyarlathotep figures in this bright sky blue. You've got the black goat figures in the bright red, and the king in yellow Hastur figures in yellow. So I was like I said, this was my second miniature painting project. My first one had been the Conan monolith figures. So I really owe a lot to a Goobertown Hobbies fundamental, beginner painting guide. I mean, Brett is awesome to teach you how to get going on this. So a lot of that I learned from there. Squidmar, learned a lot from his videos. And also just for this one, Blue Table Painting. Some of my color palette and decisions were really influenced by Blue Table Painting. So shout out to those guys. Thanks for all of your great videos, and I'll put links below. Okay, so I started out with basically just a spray can prime in black for most of the figures, and then I was going to do the Zenithal prime later. So yeah, so you can see that the details really jump out in these when you prime them. Suddenly they don't seem as garish and cartoonish, and you can kind of really start to see some of the details and the shading just with a black base coat. This was where I was going to start from, and again, I was new, so I just used a spray can. Since then, I've gotten an airbrush, so I'm learning my skills in airbrushing, and I will be painting the Cthulhu Wars Azathoth expansion. I'll probably do a walkthrough of my actual painting process as I start getting moving from noob to like level 1. But still, it was a pretty fun experience. Also, a lot of the work ethic I learned in the bulk painting from the Conan paint through. I learned here, so just get bulk priming of all the figures and kind of do everything in waves. I'll leave a link to the Conan monolith painting video as well as if you like and subscribe, you'll be notified when the other ones come out. Now, some of the figures I decided to try a lighter base coat, so I did a gray base coat, just because I was figuring which figures would be darker looking and which would be brighter looking. Again, this was a total experiment for me. You can see that some of the black goat figures, young figures, have been primed both in gray and in black, so it was kind of an experiment on my part just to see. But you can see even in gray prime, they look real great. This was also spray can matte. Then you can see I jumped into the Zenithal priming here, so really great details with the top Zenithal prime. And these were black prime coat, and then I did a gray Zenithal prime just to kind of hit the highlights. Again, this was my first time ever trying something like this, and I was really surprised at how awesome the figures look, even just at this stage. I mean, this is an amazing. It turns anyone into a figure painting fan. So if you have never painted your figures yet, believe me, you can start to learn. Follow the link. I would start with Brett's link from Goobertown Hobbies. Okay, now this is my base coat. I did a base coat. You can see my cultists are all following that similar pattern from the. I kind of started with the Blue Table Painting palette. Just a green, a lighter green, or a color, and then a darker version of the color. You can see Cthulhu here is starting to take shape. Nyarlathotep starting to look quite frightening, with some orange tentacles in his back. You can see all of their books have got some script inside. My details are not good, but hey, they look better for me than the bright, garish glow colors. Here's a king in yellow and Hastur. I was experimenting with the tips there and really trying to get into some dry brushing. The teeth, you can see the black goat cultsman. You can see that they're quite messy paint jobs, but I'm not a detail guy. But it's amazing how from a little bit of distance, like this video is showing, you really can see the details. Black tips on the black goats with blue mouths. So let's go through the factions one by one. I'll stop talking, and you guys can look at the paint jobs, and I'll catch you at the end of the video. Thanks, everyone. So thank you for watching my Cthulhu Wars miniature painting. Please leave a comment below with some tips and suggestions. I'd really appreciate them. I'm not a real good detail guy, so just kind of go for the overall board ready effect. So hopefully these do it. As you can see in these couple photos I've got here, these are Crawling Chaos versus Black Goat, which will be my Cthulhu Wars playthrough. So look forward to that video. And check out my Cthulhu Wars storage solution. If you like what I'm doing here, like and subscribe. We'll be doing Cthulhu all month, and we'll also move on to Cthulhu Death May Die. So thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.